This is my ultimate video studio desk setup. Let's break it down.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what's up? It's Omar Takoy with Think Media. Now, I'll be sure to post links down to everything in this setup down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. And if you have any questions as I go through this, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to any and all of those comments. But with that being said, let's start with the desk itself, being a Husky desk. So this is from Home Depot, and although I would call this a desk, technically it is a workbench, but it is a super high quality, butcher block top with a metal bottom. And I love that these actually come with wheels. It's super clutch because I totally move this around, and I'll show you a little bit, but it is also a sit stand desk. It's just not electric. You have to like crank that soldier boy right there. And then you're able to change it. But this comes in many different colors. This is the 54 by 24 inches. So 54 inches wide, 24 inches deep. And this comes with a drawer, and I love it. Oh, look at that. This is YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell and Benzie Travis. If you are looking to level up your YouTube game this year, check out this book. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. But I'm a tech YouTuber, hence the messy desk. This is a $240 desk. Absolutely love it. Love how high quality it is, and also the various different options that it also comes with. But let's talk about the brains of this whole operation. So I run everything off of this Mac Mini with the M1 chip, and let me tell you what, this thing is fast, it is quiet, and I did spec this out a little bit. I got the 1 terabyte internal SSD, and I think I upped the RAMs as well. But you can get this base for about $600, which is insane knowing how fast it is. I actually have it mounted to my monitor with the use of a clamp that I bought on Amazon. Again, links down to everything in the description below. And I just use command strips to mount it on the back of the computer. So it literally takes up no real estate, and it just hangs out here. It's been hanging out here for a while, but that is what's running everything. From the Mac Mini, I have it hooked up to what is called the CalDigit TS3 hub. And this is essentially a glorified dongle. It has the SD card reader, so it's easy to do that. It has a couple other ports at the front of it, which I love. But it also has great like Thunderbolt 3 ports and so many other ports, as the Mac Mini is kind of limited, as you can see with the amount of ports it has. So something like that pairs really well with the Mac Mini, and it creates essentially my computer. Now, another extension of my actual Mac Mini and the CalDigit would be these are called SSDs, solid state drives. And these are both like 2 terabyte drives. You can see how small they are, and they're so fast, and they're great for anything when it comes to creating content, editing videos, doing photography and things like that. But me plugging this into my CalDigit literally just expands additional storage. So these are super clutch. Now, when it comes to my keyboard and mouse, I love this thing. It is actually both Logitech products. So this is the MX series of Logitech things. So this one is their mechanical tactile keyboard. If you want to listen, makes you feel super productive because of the sounds it makes. And then the mouse that I use is the MX Master 3. This is cool because there's so many different things that they have. This wheel on the side, the wheel on the top, other side buttons that you could program to do whatever you want it to do. And so love that stuff. And in continuation of control, I have what is called the Loop Deck Live. This device is essentially a Stream Deck on steroids, because not only do you have the customizable buttons on the screen that you see, you can also customize these tactile buttons as well as these knobs. So if you're editing video or photo, you can adjust this stuff. Maybe it's volume, but these are like my quick actions because I visit these websites a ton. And so that's what makes up the brains and the computer of this actual setup. Let's break down the screens that I use and how I even mount this thing right over here. So the first monitor is my main monitor. This is the monitor that I put everything essentially on. It is a 32-inch 4K IPS monitor from ViewSonic. I've had this for quite some time, maybe close to 3 or 4 years. And it's not a cheap monitor. It is about $800. But I honestly don't know another monitor that is this incredible as far as color accuracy and just doesn't have any logos is like super clean, you know, close to the edge and things like that. And so this 32-inch works fine for me. I think 27 would be good. It is not a cheap monitor, but I definitely think because I've been using it for 4 years, I'll like vouch for this all day. And I don't think it's anywhere near being outdated. Absolutely love this monitor. I have it mounted kind of like this, and it's off to the side, which actually, because it's like low at eye level, it allows my camera to be at eye level as well. I'll get into that in just a moment. But my second monitor is a very cheap monitor. Now, I'm not too worried about this monitor being like super color accurate or anything like that. This is a 1080 monitor that costs around $130 or $40. It's by G-Tech. But here's why I love this monitor. It's solely powered on a Thunderbolt 3 cable. So this just plugs right into the CalDigit, and then I have a secondary monitor. I used to have this monitor like placed right over there, but when I was doing live streams, I found myself looking down when I should be looking up. So I've actually mounted this monitor with the use of a tablet mount. So this just clamps right onto the desk itself, and then it's just holding the monitor. And because it's so thin and lightweight and portable, it holds it like a champ. But these two monitors work wonders. And again, the real reason I have this mounted there is because I usually do live streams and I share a slide or a video or a screen. I just put whatever I want to share on this monitor, and so that I know when I share it, that everything that's seen on this monitor is what people are going to see. It kind of gives you some peace of mind when you're live streaming. But those are the monitors that I use for this setup. Super awesome. Again, links down to everything in the description below. But let's break down some of that AVL action that you've probably been wondering about. So the camera that I use for this setup is the Sony ZV-E10. I use this camera for a lot of my YouTube videos. I use it for the live streams. I use it for video conference calls. It honestly is one of the best cameras to use in this way, as it does have a clean HDMI feed. So I plug in an HDMI cable into the back of the Mac Mini, which goes into a capture card first. But I vouch for this camera all day. And the lens that I'm using is the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens. This lens gives you the blurriest of backgrounds. And when you pair it with the ZV-E10, you get an incredible image because the ZV-E10 has great autofocus. And so when you're at about arm's length distance like I am, when I live stream, I'm kind of like, this is my view. It gives you the perfect kind of medium wide shot with a blurry background. And so that is my main setup. If you could see, this is kind of a backup. I have a Logitech Brio, and I use this if I'm not really lighting myself, if maybe I'm doing a Zoom call and it really doesn't matter about the quality. And if this ever just goes out, I have a secondary option. So that's the Logitech Brio. That's just USB plugged into the CalDigit over there. Hey, CalDigit. And so that handles the video side of things. Now, when it comes to lighting, if I am doing a Zoom call, I'm probably just using the good old Think Neon sign as my light. But when it comes to the light I use when I like stream and when I want to make sure I'm lit well, I use the Amaran 60D. This is a phenomenal cob light that produces a nice soft light on my face. And right now I'm running off batteries, which will work in the meantime. But when I'm using it for live streaming, I got the power coming out of the back of my computer. And so a great light if you want a flattering, soft, large light on your face. I use this light for like 95% of my YouTube videos. And so that is the light. Let's talk about the mic since we talked about the light. I've gone through a ton of mics, but I have landed on booming my mic out of the shot when I'm doing streams and things like that. But I use the Rode VideoMic Go 2. This is about $100 mic, and I have it clamped onto this friction arm. But here's what's so cool about using HDMI to live stream is you can actually plug in your audio source directly into the camera. As you can see, that's what it is at the bottom. It's plugged in at the bottom of the HDMI. And then in my software or whatever I'm using to stream or do Zoom calls with or whatever, you just select the cam link as your audio source. So I think this mic sounds amazing, and you can also use this mic as a USB mic if you wanted to plug it in via USB. But let me just show you, I have the Rode mic on this friction arm, and these friction arms not only hold up the microphone, but it also holds up my camera. So I got two friction arms. And let me just show you, I'm gonna show you this, even though don't judge me. This is all the cables that I have. But if you come with me to the other side, boy, you don't see no cables but one, boy. What you wanna do? So it's okay. It's okay that it's messy back there. But these friction arms are clamped onto my actual monitor, which is super cool, and it keeps everything secure. And if I raise up the monitor, the camera and the mic goes with it. Obviously, if I crank the desk itself, same thing. But that is super key when you're dialing this stuff in. And speaking of sound, I have these Audio Engine speakers with a aftermarket riser, kind of just put some rubber in between the desk and the speakers and angle them up. But these speakers are so good, they sound amazing. And if you're doing video editing work or whatever, podcast editing, you're gonna want some good speakers. Again, links down to everything in the description below. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I have a hair light that's like suspended on the ceiling. It is a light that I have a remote controlled to, and it's held up by this tension rod. I break this down in another video that I'll link at the end of this video, but this just gives me a nice separation from my background. I guess it's important to note the chair. I have this ergonomic chair. I think that's what the brand is, ergonomic. I hope so. But real quick, I just want to tell you about cable management and how I keep this thing clean from the front. So you can actually buy these trays on Amazon that actually hold, you know, your power sources. It holds your cables. It holds so much. And so I do my best to kind of like keep the cables high and hidden so that when you are on the other side of my desk, you have almost the look of no cables. So not pretty from the back, but pretty from the front, you know, and that's how we like, okay, dude, I'm just kidding. So that kind of wraps up my video studio desk. Be sure to check out YouTube Secrets. Put a link to it down in the comments if you want to level up your YouTube channel. And if you want to check out how I make videos in this office, click or tap the screen. If you want to see how I have designed this office, click or tap the screen. Can't wait to see you in a future video. Peace.